post-game playoff game episode. As you can hear it in my voice, I'm very disappointed. It's game 2. Montreal lost 3-1 against the Washington Capitals, down 2-0 series. A lot of positives and a few negatives to discuss. Before we get things started, I'm Anxious Anthony, your host. Sorry for my mood right now. I'll explain more in depth why I feel like this. With me tonight, we got GQ Chris in the house. I think he feels the same way like I do right now.
Oh, I'm fuming. I'm fuming. And
Yeah.
this is going to be a great entertainment episode and group therapy episode with the fans who are following along with
Yeah.
us right now or tomorrow morning.
I do need some therapy right now.
Beyond frustrating.
But before we get this episode started, if you love what you hear, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, and TikTok. You can listen to any of our shows on Spotify, Apple Music, or any other podcast platform you like to listen to. And if you want to see our beautiful faces, please like and subscribe on YouTube. It's free. Share it with your friends. Come on, you get to see, these beautiful faces. Tonight it's a bit depressing, but I'm still going to smile for you. And I'd like to thank our sponsors tonight. We got Habs Cave, our boy Sunil. Guys, follow him at mention Habs Cave, one of the best Instagram platform. Basically, sorry guys, I'm emotional right now, and I'm just on the fence of my emotions right now. But I'll get more into it later. But Sunil, our boy, Habs Cave, one of the best caves in the world, I think. I mean, it's every man's dream to have a cave like that, and it's every Habs fan dream to have that specific cave. All beautiful memorabilia. He supports the community, especially the Habs community. So, guys, give him a follow. Also, we got Mike's Barbecue Rub, his Canadian company based out of Montreal, Quebec, that sells barbecue rubs, sauces, and kettle cooked chips. All of his products are proudly made and packaged in Canada. They can be used on all types of meats, vegetables, and even fish. Their chips are kettle cooked in Canada, and they're the only company in Canada who is using their own barbecue rubs as the seasoning for their chips. Follow them on any social media page such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. All their products are available to purchase on their website, www.mikesbarbecuerub.com. And they also ship all across Canada. And don't forget, as always, don't forget to rub your meat. Also, I'd like to thank Les Delicieux de la Frenais, some of the best pastries in Montreal, cakes, cannolis, and our favorite zeppelis, especially during the month of March. They have 6 locations, including Rosemere, Brossard, Saint Julie, Montreal West, Pointe Claire, and the original location, Saint Leonard. Visit them on ledelicieurslafrenet.com. They are simply delicious.
Anthony, I think we're so rattled. We have Elias who's helping us out. We haven't even changed the title of our episode. We're still on game 1. It's game 2. Elias, thank you for pointing this out to us.
Elias,
We're on it.
thank
We're
you
on
so
this
much.
fix, but
Our official tech guy is not on the episode tonight. We got Fireman Sam, who's not on tonight. He's usually the tech guy. So my apologies if the title is incorrect, but I blame the refs. Yeah. I blame the fucking refs for my title change. All right. They didn't see it or they saw it and whatever. Look, tonight, game 2, we lost 3-1. Third goal was an open netter. Whatever. Put that aside. You know where we lost the game, Chris? And again, I'm sorry to all our listeners and fans out there. I'm not those fans that want to point fingers at the refs. Okay, so I'm not going to fully blame the refs. There is moments where we want to point fingers at them and they can change the momentum of the game, but I don't want to do that. But there is moments I will speak about that later. But where we lost the game was the first 5 minutes of the second period. Okay, we had a very good first start. Our first period, Chris, I don't know if you can agree, was one of the best first periods this team ever played. We always have a bad
Yeah.
start and we always have an amazing ending. And second period is either good or bad in most cases. Today we had a very good first period, an amazing third period, and just a very bad second, which I think we lost the game there. Those two goals less than a minute is where things just crashed, right? Because we scored that goal and a well deserving goal because we had full momentum from the start of the period up to that point. Montreal was just all over them. Washington was like, remember when Sammy said last game we put doubt in Washington? Well, we did. And tonight they
Yeah.
just didn't expect Montreal to come out the way they came out all the way until that goal went in. Awesome goal, crashing the net, perfect goal. You know, you want to give it to Dvorak or Anderson, whoever you want to give it to. They both put that puck in the net. Amazing 1-0 lead. And then we crashed. Washington got that momentum, scored two goals less than a minute. And then we just were lost out there. We were lost. And were they tired? Were they just I don't know. Chris, explain. I want to hear your thoughts. So I
So,
can babble the rest of the
s-
episode. So I'll let you speak.
s- so you know what? Um, I'm gonna start with the positives. 2 games in a row. Monty, fantastic.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. Was steady. That crappy goal that went in off Savard's skate. It's not his fault. He's tracking the puck. Unlucky bounce. Second one, also, I would consider an unlucky bounce. And again, this is coming from a guy who's, argued for more time. I wanted Dobesh in nets more time. Anyways, all that to say is, Monty, keep
Monty
it
is the
up.
best player on the ice.
Yeah, you're
Monty is
showing
the best player on the ice.
he's truly a playoff to date playoff performance. Talking about playoff performances, I thought a lot of the kids who had their first game already showed signs of improvement. Take Lane Hudson. I think Lane Hudson played a very similar game last game. I just didn't find them as intimidated. I just thought that they played a little bit better on the overall. And the other thing that I would say too is they were in it from the beginning. They had Washington on their heels at the beginning of the game, and it was a one-goal game. I'm not even going to count the empty net goal. It was a one-goal game all the way until the very last second, literally. So I mean, we stuck with them. We battled with them. We weren't as physically intimidated. Intimidated. We still were physically. They physically imposed on us, but we were not intimidated like game one, in my opinion. Josh Anderson. I love Josh Anderson. Honestly, that man needs a hug right now and a cold beer uh, to go with it because man, he was one of the few that truly showed character. Everything else that I have to say, let's get to it I step by step, but I have so many complaints to get to and so many frustrating factors, whether it be with certain elements of the Montreal Canadiens, but especially the goddamn refing. How many times Gallagher has a chipped tooth at this moment in time? Second game in a row, cross check to the face, no action taken.
Three cross checks in the face in the last two games.
Caulfield, and
Zero
and you know what?
penalties.
I'm gonna start going down my list of things here. Let's
But but
let's
but hold on,
let's
hold on.
start talking about
Are
cross
we
checks to the face.
okay?
Q,
So
Q, go for it. Go for
before
it.
you get there,
Before
okay, I want to ask you a question, okay? And again, to all our listeners and fans out there, we're not a podcast here or a group of. We're realistic Hab fans. I think we are, and we're not biased. In some occasions, we could be, but majority of the time, we're honest. You know, when we play bad, we admit we play bad. When we play good, we admit like whatever. We're not there to point fingers. Like, let's just say it as it is. The Leafs fans, you know, they'll blame the fucking lighting in the arena if they lose, right? That's what it is. What I'm trying to say is, I understand it's playoff hockey. I understand the refs let the players play. I understand not all calls are going to be made. And I understand it's a physical series. Facts. But if you're going to do that, be fucking consistent. You go call a 4 minute on Anderson for cross checking. Okay, well, 2 minutes on cross checking, then 2 minutes for roughing because they were fighting and they gave 2 minutes to Wilson, 2 minutes to the extra two to Anderson. But that was a cross check. I'm not standing there and say that was a bad call. It was a cross check. You called it. But let's fast forward to the third period where you cross check Cole Caulfield in the face, middle of the fucking zone, in front of the refs. Dangerous play. Dangerous play. And there's no call there? Don't tell me it's playoff hockey, let them play. Say that if you didn't call the Anderson fucking call. But Anderson's fucking penalty, cross check to the boards. I mean, that is a call that you could maybe pass. That's a call that maybe you can let go in the playoffs. But you gave him a 2 minute. And then
And
a fucking
seriously,
cross check to Caulfield's face in front of the ref, and you don't call that, and you're gonna say what? It's a playoff. It's playoffs. Let him play. Fuck you. Fuck you.
and and seriously,
Excuse me.
I'm
Excuse my swearing, Olivier, if you're there. Sorry.
and I
Sorry.
seriously want to make a comment to one of the things that you said. That wasn't a cross check. That was an exaggerated push with a stick in the man's hands. That was not a cross. Like, what is it going to take? What is it going to take to call a legitimate penalty against? And I mean, like, they don't want to hear anything. They don't want to see anything. They turn a blind eye. Like, why does Wall come out with an NHL banner that says, "We want the Washington Capitals to go to the second round"? Otherwise, I don't understand what the hell is going on with the officiating. I hope it gets better. I hope the fans, let's keep these asshat, stupid, blind refs, no offense to the blind, completely accountable for their lost and missed calls. Seriously, Bell Center Friday night, you're going to be there, Anthony. Hold them accountable. The Boo Birds have to be out in full force if these morons continue to miss calls as they're doing right now. But talking about physical play, and not to completely change the subject on penalties, because I think we could go even further down this path. The Washington Coward Capitals, especially Dowd, that man, that man who's responsible for cross-checking Cole Caulfield in the mouth, had been running after Lane Hudson all game. Anytime that he could get a lick in on Ivan Demidov, doing so, that man needs to be held accountable for his actions as well. And I'm hoping that there's a certain number 72 in the lineup next game to remind him every single time he comes into the Montreal Canadiens zone what it means or what it costs to act that way. So, on and Washington, beyond Dowd, I really, really, really want to get into something that is incomprehensible and is a simple coaching change. It's a simple coaching announcement on behalf of Marty St. Louis and the assistant coaches. If Washington is finishing every single check, getting freaking fists in the faces of your rookies, absolutely taking every opportunity to punish your players, and we other than Josh Anderson again put aside, you have again Christian Dvorak who played a decent game, but that's the first hitting memory that comes to mind. Christian Dvorak slowing down bumps the player. Slavkovsky slowing down bumps the player. Punish them every single opportunity to hit. Punish them. Make them hurt. I don't understand how it doesn't go both ways. I don't understand how we can physically, or the players on that bench, not all of them are made for hitting, but I don't understand how they can watch the opposing team literally take run after run and accelerate as they get closer to the player to hit them, and then we slow down when it's our turn to do so. What is going on? That is a simple coaching adjustment. For the love of God, tell them to hit. Follow through with some hits, please. Anthony, I don't know if you want to follow up on that.
Well, I mean, Chris, let's go back to many of our old episodes. You know, we mentioned this many times when our team, especially a player like Slavkovsky, plays physical. And again, we're not that physical team, right? We're not the big bad Bruins, but we have players on our team that when they put that little bit of that physical play, we are untouchable. Why? Because we are a talented team, okay? Where when we do use that physical side of things, it scares the opponent and we have the opportunity to go score with our talent. So players like Slavkovsky, who you said many times when he plays that physical, he's one of the best players on the ice. Dvorak, you could be physical, use your size.
It's
Anderson, again, I don't want to point fingers at Anderson because he's honestly, I love Anderson. This
oh,
playoffs,
he
he's
played great.
playing great hockey.
Yeah.
So
And I just want to specify one thing before we go on. It does we're not the, like you said so well, we're not the big bad Bruins,
no,
we're not the Philadelphia the Broad Street Bullies. All I'm saying is that you're already in line, like those two examples that I've given. You're already in line to hit the player. Why are you slowing up? Why are you not following through? Why are you not pushing to give the hardest check? Is Cole Caulfield, and that's a great example actually. Is Cole Caulfield going to be knocking Tom Wilson on his butt every shift with his hits? Absolutely not. But if you look at Cole Caulfield, every chance that he had to finish a check with whatever he had in him, he did. And I have respect for that. But when I see most of our players slowing down and easing off of their hits while we're taking all the punishment that they could possibly give us, and the refs are not calling anything, that is unacceptable to me. That is absolutely, that is something that man right there on the wall, Wi-Fi, the sheriff, whatever you want to call him, I would say more the sheriff, because if the refs are not going to do the policing and they don't want to call
see,
anything
but
and they
what
want to
worries
put their
me,
whistles away, then let that man bring some justice to the
let's
Montreal
see what
Canadiens.
worries me, Chris. They're not putting their whistles away. They are using that whistle, but against us. So they're not being very consistent on, okay, we're putting our whistles away in the playoffs. Let them play. If that was the case, then fine. But they're calling plays, like I said, the penalty on Anderson for that quote unquote cross check, and then you see a crusher to the face to Cole Caulfield, then you don't call that. Something is off here. If you're going to call one, call both. And with all due respect, not being a biased Habs fan, but that hit on Cole was 10 times more dangerous and not a hockey play compared to the play on Anderson was a hockey play. It was a hockey play. So now what worries me about Jacky, again, I do want him on the lineup. But then again, you're putting that enforcer type in his mindset, which I think you can fix if good coaching, you speak to him and say, look, you're going in to play hockey, not to be the bully on the ice. But what scares me is that if he does come and be that player, what happens if they start calling everything he does?
I I that's a
You get
great
I'm scared that he
great
comes
point that
on
you're
and then we're in the penalty box majority of the time, and that's going to cost us to lose.
again, again, and I couldn't agree more. That is a great point. He has to play between the whistles. Sorry, he has to play whistle to whistle, not between the whistles. Sorry. He can't get caught in throwing punches after the play is dead. And even, I mean, look at the penalty against Anderson. Don't get me wrong. It's 100%, like, all eyes are on those two players. The ref already whistled the play dead. That got out of hand. They basically didn't abide by the ref's rules. It's an easy call. But what Washington is doing, and the complaint that I'm having about the players taking punishment, that's happening in the middle of the play. And more importantly, with inserting Arbor Jackeye into the lineup, the way I envision it, I mean, Arbor is Arbor. He doesn't have to play like anybody else. But the guy that I have in mind is Alexei Emelin. If you remember him, he used to lay out some of the most punishing hits. Arbor has the capacity to absolutely lay the body down and destroy guys. And he has to play like that. He's got to take, those, I don't want to say borderline late hits, but go for the some of the big hip checks. Go for the bigger hits along the board. Arbor will not waste any opportunity to beat the players down who go in front of the net, to punish the guys in the corners, to have puck battles. And when you're in a puck battle, just a little shots to the ribs, to the back, to this, you're going to think twice about going into that puck battle. And that's all I'm getting at. As long as he plays between the whistles, I think it's safe. And the reason why I'm so confident with this is, let me just check right over here, just the time. David Savard played 9 minutes and 35 seconds. All due respect to David Savard, it's as though I know it's his last season. He announced his retirement at the end of the season, but it's as though he announced his retirement and he went like two steps back, or I don't know. He looks like he already took his retirement and he's just out there on the ice. If David Savard played 935, he was still a -1. He deflected a goal into his own net because he just wasn't tracking the puck. I'm sorry to say, if anybody of the Montreal Canadiens fan base is ready to argue to keep in David Savard, especially
Look,
after tonight's game, I
so
don't know.
okay, so I'm gonna say something because I had this not argument but debate with a friend. So tonight I had some friends over for the game, and there was one guy kept saying, "Get Savard out, get him out. He's done. He's done. He's done." And I defended Savard. I'm one of those fans, like you just mentioned, to that defended Savard. Okay, and defended Savard because in my mind, the player I see him as is the two-time Stanley Cup champion, big defenseman guy. He proved to us that he's a fucking key player for this team all years, all season long, last season, this season. And I defended him. I kept hearing today from my friends, "Oh, why is he playing? Why is he playing? Get him off, get him off." And I'm looking at him like, "Can you shut up? Like, you cannot bench him. You can't." But let's fast forward to the end of the game. You just said it, Chris. He announced the retirement, and he is not the player that I thought he should be in this playoffs. He's slowed down. He's not being physical. He's making a lot of mistakes. And I'm not blaming him for the goal. It
Yeah,
happens. I'm not blaming
it
him. You
was an
guys, to
accident.
all our
Exactly.
fans out there, I'm not saying, oh, it's his fault. I'm not blaming him. But there was a lot of occasions during the game where he just wasn't himself. Clearing the
But
puck, he
again,
didn't clear it properly. Some passes were off. He was, I'm sorry, probably the worst defenseman on the ice tonight. And last game it was Struble. Tonight was Matheson. So today's argument at the beginning of the game when I kept hearing get Savard out, get Savard out, I'm like, no, the guy who should have been out was Struble. But now I think Struble earned his spot again because I think he played a decent game. And Savard did not earn his spot. But again, Chris, you can't bench a player like that. You can't. It's hard to make that decision to bench one of your most experienced defensemen on the ice. That being said, I said the word you can't bench a player like that. Well, Marty benched someone tonight,
yeah.
and when that guy was benched, and I'll say his name shortly, what did we notice in the third period? Montreal played a fantastic third period. I think Washington had like a 2% ice time in the offensive zone in the third. Montreal was in the offensive zone 98% of the third period. We were, and I'm sorry if I'm making up numbers, I'm probably exaggerating, but it did seem like that. We were in the offensive zone the whole time. We were shooting the puck. We had many, many chances. We were very fast. And the weak element that was removed from that whole situation was Patrick Liney. There's something up. There's something up.
I don't. He has to be injured. He has to be
100%.
injured. I mean, just go back and watch his Columbus highlights. He was way quicker than that. The guy looks like he can't skate at all. He's making bad decisions. He's playing weak. Even he went in for a huge hit. He ended up on his ass on his own. Like Patrick Laine, unfortunately, he's been highly detrimental to the Canadians. Um, yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad because again, whether it be Savard, and I want to throw a mystery. I want to not a mystery number at you. I'd like you to take a guess, Anthony. So there were well, not three power plays for Washington, 6 penalty minutes by the Montreal Canadiens, or at least 4 minutes. David Savard again, 935, so not a crazy amount of ice time. Would you like to take a guess how many because he's known for shot blocks, right? Or block shots, right? Do you want to take a guess how many block shots he's got?
Tonight's game,
Yeah,
Savard.
yeah.
Are you being sarcastic or are you asking a serious question? Because if it's sarcastic, then zero block shots.
I'm asking a serious question.
Zero.
Zero, zero. James Struble, who's supposed to again, I'm not saying that he was bad. He only played 10:27, so just short of a minute more. No shot, no block shots. At least he had one shot on net. Giveaways one. Um, all I'm saying is we can't be playing guys, and it goes back to Line as well as Savard. I don't think it's justifiable to keep somebody in your lineup
No, no, no.
just for special teams, whether it be power play or penalty kill. It's got to change, and I hope we actually see somewhat of a shift for power play number one, where Caulfield finds his old spot, bring in
Thank
Ivan
you.
the Great,
Okay.
and let's shift.
Okay. So I think it's time to change things up because I think everybody knows our power play specialty, right? It's feed Liney from that point and he's going to shoot. Everybody knows it. I know it. My son, who's 9 years old, is watching this game and he knows the puck is going there. If we are seeing that, you think the other coaching staff is not seeing that? You think the players are not preparing for that moment? Guys, as much as we blame the refs, and again, I'm not blaming them for the loss. We did not lose because of the refs, but we did get more power plays than Washington's game, right? We were in the penalty box once, they were in the penalty box twice. So they did call more on them than on us. All right. But we're not doing anything. Chris, I mentioned this many episodes ago. This year, the reason why we got to where we got to was because our special teams was fantastic. Our first line was playing well. Our power play was great. And our penalty kill was great. And if you check mark those points in the playoffs, you're going to win the games. The thing is, our first line is slowly stepping up. They played a very good game last game and this game. Our penalty kill is good, but our power play is just not working anymore. Why? Because I think the other teams are reading it. I
Well,
miss Cole Caulfield's spot. You just
we
said it. Cole's
but and
corner. It's not
it
happening
goes
anymore
it
because it's Liney there.
it goes way deeper than that, and because I'd say there were the few power plays that we had. We should have had more, but the few power plays, I was really hoping that we'd have a power play at the end of the game with Laine being benched. I was certain that we were going to see Demidov on power play one, but unfortunately, the refs couldn't call a fair game. So, anyways, we'll potentially have to wait for the next game to see that. But all that to say is the last power play that we saw this game for the Canadians, it went Hudson to Laine to Hudson, to Laine, to Hudson, to
Yeah.
Laine. Maybe over to Suzuki or Caulfield on the right, back to Hudson, to Laine, to Hudson, to Laine. Shot, miss, shot, miss. Like there's no, it's not a dynamic power play. We've said it, you've said it a million times. You take a power play like Tampa Bay, and you take Kucherov, who's zipping around, opening up guys, pulling guys here there while other guys get into open space for the one timers. It's unpredictable. It's always different. For us, it's always the same thing. And it's very easy to beat, especially if the guy who's taking the shots looks like he has cement stuck to his skates and can't move faster than 2 kilometers an hour to go fetch the puck. So, I mean, we just keep getting caught with the puck. Again, I don't want to harp on just the negativity. Again, it was finished three
Just
one, but up
let's
until the
talk about the
last
positives. I
seconds,
know we're
it
being
was
very negative because of the loss, and there's a lot of
and the
negative to
refing
talk about.
and the refing. I have about 30 unread messages since I last opened up my phone with just friends and family members just saying these effing refs. They screwed us over. And yeah,
But then
yeah.
again, Chris, yes, we can stand here and blame the refs all we want. But if the refs would have given in what we want, you're not doing anything about it. We got look, yes, I'm not taking
Well,
away the ref situation, but we got two power plays tonight. Did we
we did get two
capitalize on
power
it?
plays.
No.
It wasn't terrible. It was just predictable, and it was easily
Wasn't
stopped
terrible.
at
We
the end
had
of the
one
day.
shot on net on combined in total, one shot on the power play.
That's
And again, it's
embarrassing.
because it's predictable. You're passing to the one guy, and there's always a defenseman there. There's always a defenseman blocking Liney's shot. Liney does not have that opening anymore. There's players stopping him. So why don't you take advantage of this? If you're not going to bench Liney next game, keep Liney there, make it seem predictable, but give it to someone on the right. Find another spot. And don't tell me we don't have any weapons. We have Sivkovsky. We have Caulfield. We have Demidov. We have the weapons. We're just not using them right. So again, we can point fingers all we want at the refs not calling anything. And yes, it's a given. Fine, fair point. But if you're gonna get those power plays, we've all said it. We said it last year, we said it the year before, we said at the beginning of the season. Power play goals is fucking a game different a different it's a turning point for any playoff game, especially that we're playing by behind all the time.
Well,
We're a
we got
team.
that first lead. It was the first time that we had a lead.
Yeah,
Short lived, but
but
we
then
had
but
it.
then it was 2-1 and we were playing by behind again and we had a power play, two power plays when we were down 2-1 and we didn't capitalize on it
There's one name
because
that we have to talk about. He played 14 minutes and 45 seconds, and he had the goal on the edge of his stick. The post robbed him. Jake Evans. A great.
I
He's
was
also
convinced
been fantastic.
that was a goal. I celebrated before the shot happened because I'm like, it's a wide open net. We're all in my garage. We all screamed. I think we all, excuse my language, we pre-ejaculated, right? Like we just all fucking screamed as if we scored, and then it hit the fucking post. How do you miss that open net? I mean, it happens, yes, but fuck, it was a guaranteed goal, right?
Yeah.
And New Hook, man, New Hook, I fucking love him, but he cannot. I'm telling you, he scores one goal and it's gonna,
He's good for half a season.
like he needs that breaking point because he has a lot of opportunities. He's just not capitalizing on them. He's not finishing them.
Yeah. No, that fanning on the puck at the beginning of the game. You know, I'm older. Would never be able to do it. I'm the guy on the sofa telling a professional athlete what he should be doing. But and again, it's ridiculous to even state it, but instinctively, the best will do it. I think more often than not, you stop that with your skate and you take a clear shot. He like there are still some nerves clearly, and that's normal. I'm hoping it's two games. They came very close. They stuck with them all the way to the
But
end.
look, you're right, Chris.
Um,
You know what? Take away the second period today, and take away the first period last game, and you're winning this game. You're winning two
yeah.
games. So
Can we also talk about one guy? I'll line it up for you, but Slavkovsky, not a perfect game, but I think he was light years ahead of what he was last game.
yes, but again, there's no sign of physicality anymore from him. He even said it himself. He needs to be more scary. He needs to be more rough, and he's not doing that. He is not fucking doing it. And when he does, he is the best player on the ice. I'm telling you, start using your body, and you're the best player on the ice. And every time he does, every time we come on the episode, you, Sammy, me, Joey, Zook, Adri, every time we come on the episode after a good Savkovsky game, we all say the same thing. It's because he was physical. He starts being physical, it opens up the talent, right? Because then players, your opponents, start getting that fear factor in them, which allows you to take advantage of the talent side of yourself. So we're not the big bad Bruins. And this is what I was trying to say before, and I didn't probably say it properly, but we're not the big bad Bruins. We're not Philadelphia. We're not bullies. We have a lot of skilled talent on this team with a plus. That plus is that little physical side of things. You put that factor in, it fears your opponents and it opens up to that opportunity to use your talent. Why? Because now, once Slavkovsky has the puck, that big boy, and the opponent is coming, he'll be afraid of this big guy coming, which will give him the chance to take the shot easier, right? Like you have to understand, like you play that side, given that fear factor, and they're gonna be scared, and you're gonna score goals and get more chances. Now let's talk about the third period, okay? Like it was very entertaining. To all our listeners out there, to all our fans out there, the third period was fucking entertaining. I actually thought we were gonna tie that game, and
Yeah.
we had every opportunity to do so. And someone said it before, and this pisses me off. It really, really does. Because always against us, there's always that one guy who just. Where is the comment? Where is it? Hold on. I shared it before. Did I lose all the comments?
Well,
Hold
the
on, let me
last
find
comment
it.
that we got was from
Yeah, when did
Big.
Logan Thompson turn into a 2015 Carey Price? I know. He
Yeah.
was he was the game tonight because I think Montreal could have won it in the third period if it wasn't for Logan Thompson. But you could say the same thing if it wasn't for Monty. Washington would have won in the second period. So I think it balances out. You know, it wasn't a winnable game for us because we'd have easily lost in the second period if it wasn't for Monty. And Washington would have easily lost if it wasn't for Thompson. So I think it
Yeah.
balances out. But we won the game because we had a better first period and a third. So I think we had, if, and someone said it before, we need to play a full game. There's no more like we need to be consistent in the first, second, and third and finish the game. Start the game high, finish high. Because last game we started slow, picked it up, got better in the second, had a great third, but then just lost it in overtime. And again, we can blame the rest for the overtime goal, whatever. But we played better and it was a winnable game. And it's because we got better from the second to the third. What made us lose was a bad first. Tonight, we had a great first. A great first. We came out hot. We came out strong. The first 4 minutes, we were in the offensive zone. I think it was until the
Non-stop.
16th minute we were in the offensive zone. Second period, I don't know what the fuck happened, and that's where we got the two goal, like well, the two goals against us. And then third period again, when you're playing from behind, we've been doing that since March 1st. We can't keep doing that.
That's it's gonna be a huge tax on the boys. At the end of it all, I like just rapid fire. I thought it was a relatively strong game. I just want to list off a few things, and then I want to go into some coaching adjustments if I'm playing couch potato coach or Coach Chris over here. So there's Gallagher. I thought Gallagher, Caulfield, Suzuki had good games. New Hook, like I said, he got us plenty of chances, but just for the love of him, for the love of God, he can't convert. Anderson, hey Joey,
Oh, he's in. I was trying to send
There
him
you
the
go.
link.
live
No, it's okay.
from
I found it. I found it.
Korea.
What's up? What's up?
Uh,
Are we already live or did you guys start?
We're live. We're
we're
38
already
minutes
live
in.
Oh, jeez.
at
Hi
the
guys.
at.
Sorry, I'm just making a small cameo. Can't stay
Did,
on for too long.
did you watch the game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to just leave after for errands. Yeah, tough game. Too
I
many,
want to.
too many cross checks not called, in my
Uh,
opinion.
Thank you.
we spoke about that, but I just don't, we want to hear your thoughts, Joey. I mean, Joey from Korea, we miss you here. Um, we gotta
Look
figure out
happy
a.
though. He looks happy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's
yeah.
We
constantly
lost and
smiling.
he's happy. Old Joey would be fucking breaking things right now. So, Joey, I want to hear your
Yeah.
thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts from there. What did you think of tonight's game? What did you think of the first game as well? Like, where do you see the positives and the negatives?
Uh, I'll go with the negatives first because I want to end on a positive note.
Wow,
I think the
Joey.
negatives is Montreal has to get off to a better start. It's they start too slow. They're too flat-footed. They get outpossessed, outchanced.
But not
Not
tonight.
tonight.
Not tonight. Tonight we came out strong. We had a very good first period.
The first 5 minutes at least, Joey.
We
Come on.
started off bad in the second, but the
Yeah,
first period was great.
yeah. I'm talking about maybe the total, maybe the total period. I don't know. There wasn't many shots in the first. Like maybe I meant more like getting stuff on net. Especially in the first game, there was nothing. We start
10-4.
off getting that goal, but then it went kind of downhill. But the positive of that is I think the team. I don't know how to put in the right words, but the players that are supposed to take us to that next round, next step. It's their first or second playoff, so it's kind of expected in my opinion, that you're talking about Lane Hudson, Nick Suzuki is the second playoffs, Cole Caulfield is the second playoffs, Safkowski is his first, Demidoff is first. So that's the positive part of it. To be quite honest, I don't mind if they even lose, 4-0, 4-1, 4-2. The fact that they're about a year ahead has already been the best step. I know I predicted them to win just because I'm a Habs fan, but I don't like
But
realistically.
but you know what, Joe? What I want to say to that point, and I feel the same way. I even said it at the beginning in the first episode when we started the playoff predictions. If Habs lose four straight, I'm still gonna be happy, right? It's just that I didn't expect to see what I'm seeing now. Like two winnable games, like we are holding up our end of the bar. Like we are showing signs that we
Yes,
can win. And that's what's hurting me now because if we would have came into these playoffs, lose four straight and like really shit the bag, then I'd say, you know what, guys, we came this far, we made it here. It is what it is. It's what's expected. We lost. Let's turn the page and move on and look forward for next year. But to see these
exactly.
players play the way they are and having that chance of winning, because we could have won last game easily and we could have easily won today as well. So it kind of hurts me a little bit to see what I'm seeing and that hope that is there. That hope is there. We could win. We're giving him
No, it
that,
is.
you
the
know?
the minor change I would make is how they come out in the third periods. Even if you thought they played like a better first, which is valid. I thought they could have came out stronger. I want to see that third period in the first. Get yourself ahead rather than catch up. But they've been playing catch up all season. I want them
Yeah.
to turn catch up hockey into proactive hockey. So that third period, you
That's a
play
very
it
good
like the
point.
first. If you play those two third periods like you play the first period, you play the third period in the first period, you can go up 2-3-0 and really deflate the Capitals or any team at that matter. So as soon as they develop that, I think they'll have, of course, way more success. But it's like any team, you go ahead, 2 goals, 3 goals. It's always hard for a team to come back, but it seems like Montreal has the ability to come back. But if they have the ability to come back, let's see if they can develop the ability to start strong. And just, I know they haven't been the greatest at keeping leads. They've been better this year, but will always say start proactive rather than reactive. So, but like you said, Anthony and Chris, I'm sure you share the same thoughts. I think Montreal can become that team now. Even I believe they can. Like the talent is there, it's coming. What could be changed in game three? Well, a few things. I think Laney needs to certainly step up. Um, that's one of the big concerns right now in the playoffs. I think he'll be better next year, but obviously we're playoff mode now. He needs to step up. I'm not sure with Demi Duff. He's rookie. It's kind of hard. Maybe give him more power play time, but it's okay how he's being handled. But for me, the big question mark I would say in game three is you need someone like Laney to step up because I still think they need more chances than what they have today.
Okay, Joey, question for you, and I think Chris would have the same, and very good answers, Joey. I really like your thoughts on this. So
Before
thank you.
you ask Anthony, I just want to say sorry, guys, if I like stumble. I'm in the middle of like a few things going back, so just it's hard to get the thoughts out like right away. So
So the question I have for you, and this is crazy. Liam, one of our followers, just posted this question, and this was the question I was going to ask you. Okay, defensively, who do you think should not be in the lineup next game? So game
Oh,
one, end of game one, I said Struble should have been out. End of game two, I think Savard should be out. But now Liam
they
just
won't.
wrote that Savard
They won't
played
bench
better
him.
than Struble today,
Um,
which I don't agree
I'm
with that statement, unfortunately. Sorry, Liam. But thanks for your thoughts there, but I don't agree with that.
Uh, the thing is, they won't bench Savard
I
no
know.
matter how bad he plays. So, I, I can answer, but it'll never change. The only one that might be changed, the other five are locked in. The only decision to make is do you bench Struble for Jack Eye? That's it, because they won't change Savard. If it were me, of course, I thought Savard played a little worse, but they were both not the greatest. But yeah, a shakeup is needed. So, who would I bench? I'm just going to be realistic. I think I would just say bench Struble, because talking about benching Savard is not even a question. They won't do it. He's also leaving at the end of the year. He's retiring. They won't just bench him in his final games. So likely the change to happen would be Struble for Jacky. But maybe the question should be also up front. Like, what do you do with Line? They played better when
Yeah.
he got stapled to the bench. And Armia, I think, had very few shifts in the third period. So when the bench was shortened, Montreal played better. So that's a question to ask. Like, what do you do with Line? Do you reduce his minutes? I don't know if you guys spoke about it, but is there something that could be
Yeah,
done
that's
with him
exactly, we
to get him
mentioned that
going?
before. Chris has something to say. But yeah, we said that before. The moment Liney was benched, the team was amazing. Go, Chris.
In all honesty, maybe a little bit of a message to send, and fans are some fans I'm sure are going to be dancing at the thought of this, and others not. But I'd put Kapanen in for Line. I mean, at least the guy could skate. I wouldn't touch, and I wouldn't want to have anybody come out of Laval, because Laval, I want them prepped for a long playoff run. You don't mess with that chemistry. As much as there are guys there who can come and help, like career AHLers and stuff, and players as such. I just think that I would put Kapanen back in. I'd reformat that first power play to have Demidov playing in that nice Kovalev slot with Caulfield back in his shooting position where Line has stolen that spot. Um, I'm as far as it goes for Savard. I think it's a tough decision, but Marty, like, he has to learn as well in terms of being a coach. Like, the young kids are absorbing all sorts of new lessons and taking in all sorts of new information and getting used to the playoffs, and they know what they're going to be working on in the off season. Marty's got to also come to make those tough decisions, and by that I mean, even if Savard is retiring at the end of the year, do you want to prep for the future, or do you want to have a nice send off for a guy who's not going to be potentially not going to be relevant within 2 games? So I think that, like, if it were up to me, I would keep Struble in the lineup, and I would have Jack Eye come in. If he doesn't want to, then I think Struble comes out of the lineup. But either way, they have
Chris,
to
the,
shake things up. They have to do something different.
the feeling Marty gives me is a good send off. To be quite honest, I think he gives me
Yeah.
that one because realistically, it doesn't look like Montreal's a cup contending team this year. So to me, it's more of a good send off. That's the feeling St. Louis gets me. And the only reason I wouldn't bench Line is I still think he's effective on the power play. Maybe the home crowd will help him get going. But a shift you can make is more, instead of taking somebody out, is managing minutes and changing minutes. Something
Yeah.
like play Liney maybe less on 5, but really focus on getting him going on the power play. So that's the extra weapon. Demidov, my only thing with Demidov, it's literally he's played how many games? 2, 3, 4 now? It's a lot to ask the guy to go on a first power play in his first season. So I don't know. It's a bit more of a gamble. I would just reduce Liney's minutes and maybe give it to somebody else on 5, but I wouldn't take them off for the power play.
So folks are gonna ask about Demidov. People want to hear about that. I
This
wanna
pitch
see
is
that.
gonna fucking haunt me tonight.
Yeah, Jake Evans missed a really bad open net. But before I forget, I just wanted to say Demidov looks okay. I'd say even potentially had some better flashes today when he had the puck and he was able to skate around a little bit. But you can see he's worried about getting hit. Again, I will say he showcased once again. He's super solid on his skates. He can take a hit. He can actually dish out hits. But you can see his head again is on a swivel, constantly looking because he looks a little fearful while the puck is coming his way. That's going to come in time. Again, Joe, you said it so well. You have to be patient with the kid. That's asking not a little. That's
Of course.
asking mountains for this kid to overcome in basically no time. But all in all, another guy that I want to see more of, least amount of minutes in the whole game. Anybody want to take a guess? Oh no, second least amount of minutes in the whole game. But I'd love
Heineman?
to see him play more. Pardon me?
Heineman.
What? Heineman?
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I don't know why he's not getting more minutes. He's actually one of the few, like Josh Anderson, who's applying a proper forecheck, finishing his checks, being aggressive on the puck, and I would say creating some space for the guys. I just oh yeah, the other thing too, talking about being aggressive. Have you guys noticed anything about Logan Thompson? This guy is super aggressive. There always has to be somebody to clean up the scraps around the net. That's how we scored the second goal yesterday in the game number one. Suzuki was literally able to hold on to the puck for a split second more and fire it into an open cage. Like literally, this kid is hyper aggressive. For the love of God, be aggressive, be in front of the net and clean up the scraps. Slav, Heineman, Armia, you got a big body. Josh Anderson, get yourselves to the front of the net and take some shots and pot the rebounds, guys.
There's a lot of
Exactly.
rebounds
I,
being
I
caused by
agree.
Thompson. I think you couldn't say any better. You got to be in front of that net, pick up those scraps.
I agree. And just to final point on Heineman, I think he seems like a perfect playoff player, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry for the amount of noise and people. It's very crowded. But yeah, he's a perfect playoff player in my eyes, and he will be in the future that third, fourth liner that you don't expect to help you in big playoff moments. Kind of reminds me of the year Capitals won. Since we're speaking about the Capitals, the I hate to bring them up, but Lars Eller and Devontae Smith Pelly that used to play for the Habs,
Hmm.
how they came up surprisingly very big in the playoffs where the Capitals won their cup. I think Heineman could be that type, or maybe not as good of a goal scorer as Lekanen, but just he gives me the feeling that he can come up in
Yeah, but
big moments.
Heineman has been that guy who turned the season around for us. All
Exactly,
so
exactly. It's just that he's young, so it's going to take time. But that Lekanen, that Smith Pelly, just for that playoff run for Smith Pelly, but Lekanen's been doing it for a lot longer. Maybe not as good of a goal scorer, but I think he can come up in bigger moments. Doesn't even have to be a goal. It can just be turning the game around with forecheck, helping to create a chance. He gives me that feeling. So he's a perfect guy to have. He should certainly get more minutes.
Him and Jared Davidson, I feel, are like carbon copies of one another, except Davidson has a better shot and he's been a little bit more injury prone, sadly, in
Yeah,
Laval, of course.
that's very good comparison. And like you said, Chris, about Laval, you've mentioned them a couple of times. Like the guys that are going to come up from it will only make the team eventually better. Plus, Hughes in the offseason will have big decisions to make. On a guy to play with Demidov and how it looks forward. So that's why I said I'm not too worried. Like it's nice to at least make it and have some fun. Hopefully, I
well,
think they'll win a
look,
game. They won't lose four straight
look. I
for sure.
mean, we came this far, and we're down 2-0, and it means nothing what I'm about to say. But we're keeping it close, and they're giving
Yeah.
us entertainment. They're giving us entertaining hockey. Everybody already surprised that we came into this playoffs, and everybody said that we're going to get blown out. And though we're not winning the games, we just put in some doubt to the Capitals, like Sammy said last episode, and we're keeping them on their feet. So, yes, we're not finishing the game with that W, and we are down 2-0, but there's hope.
The,
And I'm
the
happy
key,
to, yeah.
exactly. I was going to say the key difference is we're an up and coming team rather than a team that's supposed to be making the playoffs and their stars are old and they're going downhill, kind of like Boston style, where they're coming down where we're going up. So all our, like I was saying, all our young players are the ones that will get more experience. Like you said, give them enough time. Just take a look at my final thoughts before I let you guys go. Is take a look at Tampa Bay and Florida, two Cup winners. If you remember the Rene Bourque days, where he scored in overtime, we set Tampa 4-0, all that. Tampa was on the rise, and they won. They became nearly a dynasty, winning back-to-back cups. They won another cup. Look at Florida. Couldn't pass Tampa. Couldn't pass first, second round, no matter how much they tried. And then last year, with the experience and everything, they uh, they made it and they won. So those are really the two examples I can give how two teams who are on the up came into the playoffs, got swept, got beaten, got won a couple of times, and then their players got older, smarter, more experienced, and they just figured it out. And I think Montreal's on that same trajectory.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't agree
and
more.
again, don't forget, youngest team to ever qualify for the playoffs in the history
That's a good way
Montreal.
to end that part, Chris, certainly. But like I said, guys, remember Tampa Bay, we swept them 4-0. They went on to win three cups since, or two cups. I don't know. No, they didn't win one at that point. We swept them literally 4-0. So we're in that really that same path. And Chris said it. We have the age and the youth on our side.
Guys, we're down 2-0. We're not playing bad. We're not playing perfect, but we're not playing bad. There's still hope to turn things around. We are that face that plays well with challenge and pressure. You know, maybe down 2-0 going home is what's going to help us turn things around. I mean, we've been playing playoff hockey since March 1st, and we've been playing great hockey the moment there's pressure on us. It took us till game 82 to get to that X. We were supposed to get that X 4 games before that, and we didn't win it. But the moment we had pressure to win it, we won it. So we came into these 2 games away playing great, playing good, not bad, um, and kept them on their feet. Now we have pressure going into game 3, down 2-0 with our fans. First time with a full crowd since 2017. This could be a great momentum booster. We should take advantage of it. I'll be at that game. I hope they give me an entertaining one. And hopefully we come out on top on that one. And if we can win both games at home, tie the series at 2, again, I'm not going that far yet in my brain. I'm happy to see what they're giving us and what they're doing when we thought we were going in and getting blown out. I'm very proud of the boys. I'm just a bit disappointed because we are giving in that hope of winning, and it just would be nice to win. But again, to any fan out there who's shitting on the Habs, stop, because A, we're not supposed to be here, and B, we're here and we're supposed to get blown out, but we're not. 2 winnable games. Two winnable
Yeah,
games.
Exactly.
yeah, two close
Anthony and Chris,
games.
should I say my Korean word to end off the day that should fit this description?
We're all ears.
Hokjeon hajimaseyo, which means don't worry.
Be happy.
Exactly.
I appreciate
Way to fill it.
the
The
cultural
Korean,
lesson, and
yeah,
it's fantastic, but it might be a little bit more simple for us to to say, "Don't worry, be happy."
All right. Any finish
But
any thoughts
uh,
for our fans watching this
Bell
episode? If you
Center
have any questions,
fans, Anthony, for you folks who are going to be over at the Bell Center this Friday, again, you guys have an obligation to blow that roof off. Absolutely, give them a hero's welcome. It's 2-0 for sure, but we've stuck in the fight the whole way through. Give them reason to believe. Next game is do or die. Uh, Again, anything that we can do to really get that doubt flowing through Washington. Uh, it's got to be hostile territory for Washington when they step in there. So fans, do your best or do your worst, however you want to see it. Just truly get behind the boys and let's propel them to a win. Let's be the seventh player on the ice there.
Key points for next game: special teams, capitalize on the power plays. Monty keep playing the way he is. First
There's the
line
net.
needs to start scoring goals and be consistent all 3 periods, like Joey said before.
They crash the net. Logan Thompson is all over the place. He's one of the most aggressive goalies in the playoffs right now.
And take advantage of the crowd.
Agreed.
All right, Joey, thanks for coming on. We miss you and we like
Yeah.
hearing
Thanks,
your
guys.
thoughts.
Anytime I can.
To all our listeners out there, to all the fans who came on the live YouTube channel to share your comments and thoughts, thank you so much for your love and support. To our listeners out there listening to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify or any podcast platform, thank you for all your love and support. Keep listening to us. Send us your reviews and your comments. It's what makes us better. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X. Did I say it all? And subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see our beautiful faces. To our sponsors, Mike Rubs, I can never say the name wrong, Delis Lafrene, and Habs Cave. Thank you for your support. Down 2-0. It's not over until it's over. We are going home, back home since 2017. It's going to be a hell of a night to our listeners out there. Go Habs, go. It's not over. There's a lot of positives. Keep that positive mindset. Until next time.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Good night.
Dynasty. Just be patient.